Hi, all right, let's stretch. So this will be about a 5 to 10 minute video on stretching for both joint mobility and flexibility as well as muscular flexibility, which is just a beautiful and very important combination of flexibility. So focusing on working and opening our body's joints as we elongate the muscles of the body. So when you stretch, ideally you're stretching from a warmed up body. It doesn't have to be elaborate. You could certainly do this after any kind of workout that gets your body warm, your blood flowing. But if you're coming in just for a stretch, some ideas, and there are many, you could do a few squats, right? Just kind of getting the body warmed up, bringing some synovial fluid to the joints. You could add, some arm movements, really not to be overthought. You just start to move your body and get your heart rate up. You could also add on maybe a knee lift if that's in the realm of possibility for you today. One of my favorites for warming up is opening up the hip. Right here. This is a really good one. This is also a beautiful hip opener. It gets that heart rate up and gets the blood flowing a little bit. This would be another idea. You could certainly go into something like a little squat jump, or certainly jumping jacks. This is another great one. We're all in a beautifully different place in our bodies and what is available to us from a day-to-day basis. So as you can see, I'm warm, right? Got my heart rate up a little bit. So let's start off. I'm just gonna go right in the order of the posts that I did today for day 3 of our flexibility challenge, or our stretching challenge. And the first one was downward facing dog, a very popular yoga pose, but also just a beautiful stretch. Really, truly, downward dog stretches the entire posterior chain. So think of your hamstrings getting elongated into the low back, some of the back of the shoulders, etc. So I'm in my office and I don't have loads of space to go to the side, so I might have to do this. My desk is right here. I'll try. So again, wherever you're at in your journey of fitness and flexibility is absolutely perfect. So please don't think that every single position is going to be for every single body. But downward facing dog, let's see how you can see me here. Okay. Your hands, which you probably can't see very well here, are about shoulder width distance. You spread your fingers wide. You want to press down into the 4 corners of your hands so that they're entirely on the floor, so you have a really good foundation. So pressing into the floor, lifting the hips up off the floor. Am I gonna hit my desk? And then pressing your chest back. So we're making like a triangle with the body. Now once here, especially if you're not super warm just yet, it's a good idea to pedal out those heels. I'm just gonna move a little bit so you can see me a little bit better. So I'm bending one knee and pressing the opposite heel down toward the floor. This is more of like a flowing downward facing dog. If your hamstrings or your low back are particularly a little bit extra, need a little extra TLC, a little extra stretching, take your feet a little bit wider and bend your knees. So when I say a little bit wider, like a little wider than your hips, that would be a really great option. Now I'm just pressing the chest back toward the thighs, lifting the tailbone up toward the ceiling, and just really getting this whole back side of the body. Once you're in your positioning, again, you can be fluid in it, you can be moving. I would hold for, anywhere from 3 to 5 breath cycles, so full inhales, full exhales, or at least 30 seconds. You're also gonna get a little bit of, blood flow. Oh, hi, thank you, puppy. Coming down to the face. So this gives a really gorgeous rosy complexion. Are you gonna join me in the video? All right, so that's downward facing dog. A favorite. Work up to that. If you're not quite ready to put all of that weight on your upper body, you can work up to that. Here's a really great alternative. Coming onto all fours and just pressing the hips back. Let's see what you can see here. Pressing the hips back to the heels and then coming up here. So pressing those hips all the way back to the heels. The arms are still in that very familiar position, that very same position, and just pressing back and then coming forward. All right, so that's a really good alternative for down dog when you're ready. The next posture So down dog, again, opening that posterior chain. Now we'll focus on creating some flexibility here in that frontal body, right? So the opposite side of the body. This posture is called cobra. It's gonna stretch the front of your shoulders. It's gonna stretch your chest. It's gonna stretch down through the abdomen and right into the hip flexors and into the quadriceps. So with most of the lives we live on our, with technology today, having maybe a desk job or commuting or computing or being on your phone, whatever it may be, it just brings our body. So ideal posture, and mine is certainly not perfect, is the ears over the shoulders, shoulders over the hips. But with the life that we tend to live, with the computing, right, just watch my spine, and the phoning and the driving, our body starts to come forward, which creates a little bit of weakness in the upper back, overflexed back, a little weak in the back, and then a tight frontal body. So we really want to focus on opening up through this front body, kind of counteracting the 21st century lifestyle, right? So this pose will do just that. This is called cobra. So you can see me climbing under my desk to get here. So you come down again on your belly. Again, please, this is not one size fits all. We'll have a few modifications here. See, okay? And then we're gonna take the hands, try to position myself here properly. I should have a better space for this. All right, the hands are underneath the shoulders. We're gonna use a lot of the core. We're not gonna press too hard into the hands, and we're gonna start to lift. All right, so you can see I'm trying to keep the shoulders back, head in line with the spine, getting this whole front side body lifted up off the ground. I'm gonna change my position so you can see in another position. This is also another posture called a spinal extension. So we come right here. So we have spinal flexion and extension. We'll do a flexion next, but this is spinal extension. Opening up the chest, shoulders down, pressing into the hands. Once you're here, hold. Again, 3 to 5 breath cycles, or maybe 5 to 10 even. Full inhales, full exhales, or at least 30 seconds. And I would do this, I don't know, at least 3 times, 30 seconds each, 2 to 3 times. It's a really, 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 really good stretch for our modern day lifestyle, bringing our posture back into a more balanced state. All right, so that's cobra. Some of you may know cobras, I call it, when I teach a yoga class, I call it yoga's big brother, but it's called upward facing dog. And so it's very similar to cobra, except for, I need my own space here. This is called upward facing dog. I'm off of I know you can't see very well, but my thighs are up off the ground here, and my hands are under the shoulders, and then we lift up. So we're off the thighs. I'm using the legs to support some of my weight, but it's just a progression from cobra. Shoulders down. All right, so there is your second posture promoting flexibility in the joints and in the muscles. Forward fold. This is spinal flexion. So we just did spinal extension, moving back. Now spinal flexion is moving forward. So a standing forward fold. Feet are about hips width. You can have them a little wider, a little more narrow. Your belly button is pulling in towards your spine. We're gonna hinge forward at the joint of the hip. And we're just gonna fold over the legs. Now for many of us, we'll maybe come about halfway. You guys, you can bend your knees here. You don't have to have completely straight legs. As long as you're feeling some elongation through particularly the hamstrings, up into the glutes and low back, you're good, right? If you wanna straighten those legs and come down even further, you certainly can. Come into a place where you can breathe deep, but you're feeling a big, big stretch. Some alternatives here, you can take the hands together behind the back, add a little bit of what we call a chest expansion, again, opening to that front side of the body. Once you're there, hold again 3 to 5 breaths. If you can't quite get your hands together, but you want that extra stretch, I'm literally grabbing my sock off the floor, you guys. This is how resourceful you can be. You can have a